going to trim my Inset Flange cover jar. I threw this the other day. Two pieces are thrown separately. You measure here with the calipers, the inside diameter, and it matches up with this line right here, right at the corner. That's where it should fit. I'm going to have this lid be pretty flat. I want a nice decorative lid, so I'm going to feel it and see how much I have to trim. Look at the inside, and remember, when you trim, you match it. The opening is a little bit small, and that's a good thing. You know, you can measure after practice. You can measure so it gets absolutely accurate, but in this case, I made the jar a little bit small compared to the lid, and so what I'm going to do is trim a little bit off of this and try it. A little bit off of this and try it. Sticking the jar to the wheel. I haven't trimmed the foot, so I'm going to dampen it a little bit. Dampen the wheel head, spin it around, and it develops a suction. It gets harder and harder to move until it gets almost too hard to move. That's when you center it. Now the bottom will probably not match the top, so what you want to do is center right where you're going to be trimming. So I'm going to bring it around, push it towards the center. That's pretty good. Now, if the clay is still a little bit soft, you can manipulate it just by pushing it out like I'm doing right now. Just a little bit. Let's see how it fits now. Still not there. I think I'm going to have to trim some. So I'm going to take a little bit off of here. And remember, don't, take it all at once. Take a little bit, try it. Take a little bit and try it. There. Make sure it can spin all the way around. Now I have this little ledge here, so that way the lid will sit up on there and I can glaze this whole area in here. Also, look, the lid comes up a little bit. It's not absolutely flat and doesn't raise up like that, so I won't see this. Now, an added bonus, I can use this as a chuck. So I'm just going to figure out how much I have to take off. Put it on there. Fits nice and tightly. Nice snug fit. Now I can trim this. Bring it out just a little bit more. Okay, start trimming the lid. Remember, this was pretty flat on the inside, so I'm just going to flatten the top off. Advantage of trimming it on the chuck, on the jar. You can look at it. You go, well, I need to change that a little bit. You can also pick it up and feel it to see if it needs any more trimming. Okay, my ledge goes to here, so I'm going to mark it and put a little defining line. So when I go to glaze it, I'll have a nice transition there that echoes what's happening on the inside. Smooth, burnish. Now, this is just about right. The body of the pot is a little bit wider than this. Sometimes it'll look funny if that lid sticks way out. So this is an opportunity that you could trim the lid down a little bit. I'm going to leave this one just the way it is. Take off. Trim the outside now. Very little needs to be trimmed. I could leave it pretty much the way it is, but I'm going to come back and do a little finishing trim. Just to lighten it up and refine the form a bit. Those little finishing touches make all the difference. I don't have much clay there, so I'm going to just trim a very shallow foot. Now I've beveled the very bottom here. I'm just going to put a little line. I'm going to stop the glaze, inside and out, and then sign it. There's the finished jar. Now, I can add a knob to this. I could score, slip, and throw a knob on here. I could sculpt a knob on there. That's up to you. This one is small enough that I could pick it up with one hand, and I want to do some decoration on the lid, so I'm going to leave it the way it is.